But I think the first topic, the one that I was meaning to ask you about, being that you're a Ravens fan, I'm hoping that you're quite the master of this topic. What what the hell is going on with Lamar Jackson? From just a Ravens fan perspective, is he going to play for the team again? Is he going to get an extension? Like, what's going on with Lamar? Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, so I would like to consider myself an expert on this topic, mostly because people ask me every day.
Yes.
Every time we record a podcast, it's talk about Lamar Jackson's contract. What did this guy said something? This guy said something. What's
Yeah.
right? Here's my thought. I do believe the correct information that we have out there is the Ravens' recent offer, or the offer that they offered him last season, being about $48 million a year, $130 million guaranteed. That's really the only number that I believe is correct. We got that from the Players Association, which has worked with Lamar. The Ravens didn't seem like they were trying to negate that, and we've gone through their, people have been asking them, hey, is this true? Is this true? Lamar Jackson doesn't have an agent. He's not trying to release information. So here's my ultimate thought. The Ravens and Lamar Jackson are in a unique position that I don't think very many teams historically have ever been in.
Yeah.
Because I fully believe both sides in the argument will accept the other team's deal.
Okay.
But they also know that the other person will accept their deal. Most times when you're in a contract situation, example, Kyler Murray in Arizona, Kyler's like, I'm not accepting this deal unless it's this. And Arizona knows that.
Yeah.
Lamar
Wait,
knows.
I just gotta say, do you watch my show? Because that's the exact contract that I referenced in my last episode. It was the Kyler Murray situation. I literally said, I think it's time for the Ravens to pay up their quarterback. I wouldn't even give Kyler what I'm going to give Lamar, but even the Cardinals kind of acknowledged that, and they had to kind of give into Kyler's demands. So thank you for watching my show, by the way. Really appreciate that. But that's the exact example that I gave last time. So I think it's validating that you also bring up Kyler in that same discussion.
Yeah, because I think they're just both similar. I mean, Lamar's better, but it's both two players that are like very good and very important to their team's success. But Lamar Jackson, I fully believe, would accept $130 million guaranteed, or maybe negotiate next year on. So maybe now it's 150. I think he would accept that. Mm-hmm. But he's also a smart person and recognizes the Ravens are going to pay him no matter what.
Right.
Because he knows how valuable he is. He watched the Ravens last year. He's not an idiot.
Yeah.
People like to say he's an idiot for not having an agent. Lamar Jackson's a smart individual.
I even said too, like, the Ravens win that playoff game with Lamar at quarterback. That the fumble in the jungle, as people like to call it, was a 14-point swing. That doesn't happen with Lamar Jackson. So at minimum, they would have won one playoff game with Lamar Jackson as their quarterback last year versus Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, and it's just like they're both in a spot where they would accept the other team's deal, but they know that the other party would accept. So I think it's a game of chicken of who's going to accept the other team's first. My deal that I initially talked about, this was last year, maybe the numbers go up a little bit, but my thought was $280 million, 6 years, 200 guaranteed. That was the number that I was thinking would be the most likely scenario. But I mean, here's the thing, and I know a lot of Ravens fans dislike me for this opinion. I'm not going to be distraught if the Ravens trade him.
Okay.
So as much as I want him to resign and stay, if the Ravens can't agree to a deal, because here's the thing, I'm not paying Lamar a fully guaranteed deal. Like, I'm not giving him, I'd give him a fully guaranteed deal if it's $40 million a year. Yeah. But I'm not giving him a 50, I've seen people say like, oh man, the Ravens need to offer him, a 6-year, $306 million deal. That's what I've seen people prediction. It's like fully guaranteed. I'm like, why?
So you actually bring up two really good points that I also want to touch on. I was going to touch on the Deshaun Watson contract, 230 fully guaranteed, which is, I'm guessing, close to what Lamar wants. And then B, I was going to say, God forbid the Ravens and Lamar are just so far apart they can't get anything done. Could he, should he, will he get traded to the Falcons, the Colts? I think the Falcons would probably be the most likely in terms of draft capital, in terms of need at quarterback, in terms of cap space. They probably fit the bill the best. But can you touch on those two things for me really quick and give you like your perspective?
Yeah, so the Ravens can't really have Lamar Jackson on the franchise tag this year. They have about $28 million in cap space right now. Franchise tag's about 45. If they were going to do it, the best kind of contract rework is you're getting rid of Patrick Quinn, you're getting rid of Devin Duvernay, getting rid of Chuck Clark, getting rid of Gus Edwards, and then you're restructuring Ronnie Stanley. And then you basically have zero cap space, so then you can't really go after any free agent corners or wide receivers, and it would purely be based on the draft. I don't see that working out. I think they're going to have to sign into a deal if he plays this year.
Yeah.
So it's like if they trade him, I think the Falcons are a good option. You know, the Falcons are sitting top 10 pick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they do want a quarterback.
They have cap space.
They have the cap. You know, the Colts, I don't think they have the draft capital that would be nearly as valuable because I feel like they're more complete of a team than the Falcons are.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, they're going to be better. Like if they trade Lamar to the Falcons, he may struggle for the first year.
Yeah.
They may not be, you know.
So you're saying the Colts next year's pick won't be as good as the Falcons next year's pick would be with Lamar? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like
I can agree with that.
Because my thought process, I've talked about this on live stream before, is if the Ravens trade Lamar, don't go after a quarterback this year, unless they're basically getting CJ Stroud. That is the only quarterback that I am taking in the first round to replace Lamar Jackson. And I know we'll talk about quarterback later. But like, if I'm replacing Lamar with this roster and I'm trying to win right now, okay, it's CJ Stroud, I feel like, is the best person to try and win right now, or it's a later round guy like a Hendon Hooker. But I don't think the Ravens want to use, you know, they only have a third round pick, they don't have a 2 on a quarterback. I feel like it would be okay, sign a free agent for cheap, or honestly, as much as I would hate it, rock back with Tyler Huntley or sign a very cheap guy to try and be a quarterback for a year, and Josh Rosen experiment it. Oh, this guy's not it? Okay, well, we have a top 10 pick next year.
Yeah.
And draft a new quarterback. Draft Caleb Williams. Draft May.
Yeah.
Draft one of these, you know.
The quarterback class next year is really good.
Yeah.
You got Drake May, the guy from North Carolina. You got Caleb Williams. You got another guy too. I'm forgetting his name, but there's options next year, right? There's really good options. So, okay. And then, so you said that if you were the Ravens and you were giving him his contract, you wouldn't give him fully guaranteed. Is that because of his risky play style, being that he's such a runner of the football, or is that a kind of you're not willing to guarantee anybody kind of this ass load of money? Because like what the Browns did with Deshaun Watson, they're paying him $230 million. He sucked last year. He didn't play the first 11 games, and then he sucked in the remaining 6. So is it a little bit of both? Is it a little bit of just his play style, or kind of what's the reasoning for that?
I don't think it has anything to do with his play style. I wouldn't want to give any quarterback a fully guaranteed deal. Okay. Quarterback is a position where players get hurt. Lamar hasn't finished the last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
that concerns me. You know, and a lot of quarterbacks get hurt. And Lamar hasn't gotten hurt on the run. He's gotten hurt in the pocket. And passing the football. It's literally just, the Ravens got screwed. The last quarterback that they had, they went out and they paid Joe Flacco, and he was the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. Think about that. Joe Flacco was the highest paid player in the history of the NFL. That Super Bowl did him wonders.
That Super Bowl made him a lot of fucking money. Yeah.
And it ruined the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
And Eric DeCosta was in the organization at that point under Ozzie Newsome, and he had to see how Ozzie Newsome had to deal with it. And Ozzie Newsome's final gift to Eric DeCosta was, you can be done with Joe Flacco.
Because he drafted Lamar Jackson. Yeah.
Because he drafts Lamar Jackson. He's like, here you go. You know, we're done with that experiment. Move on from him, and let's do something else. The Ravens have I think people underestimate how good the Ravens roster is. Because with Tyler Huntley's buns. Tyler Huntley sucks. He's a bottom 5.
Dude, he's a Pro Bowler. What are you talking about?
He's a Pro Bowler with 3 total touchdowns in the year.
Trubisky was a Pro Bowler, so the Pro Bowl don't mean shit to me, to be honest.
Exactly. Dude, Trubisky's like a way better quarterback too than
Tyler Trubisky Huntley was like even significantly better, and he was a Pro Bowler, yeah.
And it's like, okay, the Ravens have an incredible, I don't know why people don't recognize how good the Ravens defense is, because I mean, I think the best comparison is a team like the 77 Falcons, right? Where it's like you are putting up insane numbers, but your offense is so bad.
Yeah.
But like the Ravens are going 3 and out half the time on offense, and then the defense is holding teams to 10 points, and then they still lose, or they win by 3. And it's like, yeah, they allowed like.
Dude, I even
3
saw,
yards
and I'm
of
not,
flying.
I'm not a huge like PFF guy. PFF graded Kyle Hamilton as the best safety in the league this year. He's a rookie. Like he's a rookie. Marlon Humphrey's great. Obviously, like like the Ravens have a really good defense. So I think it's definitely.
And O-line, great
Yes.
defense, great offensive line, very good running back, and elite tight end group.
I honestly think the
They're
Ravens
set.
just need a receiver or two. That's what they need, in my opinion.
If Rashad Bateman is healthy, I think he can be a competent 1. I think he'd be an amazing number 2.
You think the Ravens could even take JSN in the first round and bolster him up a little bit?
I think they could absolutely go wide receiver in the first round. They're either going wide receiver or corner, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Corner to replace Marcus Peters.
What pick do the Ravens have? It's
They have
17?
technically 23, but it's
Oh.
the 22nd because the Dolphins don't have a pick.
Oh yeah. So I
So-
think Witherspoon will be off the board by then, but Gonzalez might still be there.
My thought is I want Cam Smith.
Oh,
As a
okay.
reasonable cornerback. I don't. Joey Porter Jr. is my favorite corner in the draft, but I don't think
he's my
he'll be
second favorite.
available.
He's
Yeah,
my second
so it's
favorite.
like I want Cam Smith.
Yeah.
Cam Smith is the guy that I want to target in the first round over wide receiver.
Okay.
Because I feel like we can draft a good third round guy.
I think
Or-
receiver. This class is deep on receiver. I think so. Maybe you can get a guy in the second, third round.
Yeah.
I think corner. Corners are there's pretty big discrepancy between the best and the worst.
In terms of day 1 starters at corner.